Welcome to WVU Football Going Deep. I'm Forrest Poston. I don't seem to have a great deal of choice in the matter, so I have decided that I might as well enjoy it. Those of you who've been here for a while will perhaps notice that the background is sort of back the way it was. I've had to make some more changes. Still using the upgraded camera since I figured out how to get it in position to shoot from this direction. So hopefully this will lead to better videos, and I think you would enjoy that. Now, if we could just make the content good enough, we'll see about that. That's coming up next. A lot of things to cover today. I had a particular subject in mind, but several things have happened that I want to mention. Before I get into all of that, I am going to do this whole thing about please share the video, click the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so, and make comments. All of those things really do help. Now, if you follow basketball, you probably know that Javon Small did finally actually sign his paperwork. So it's official that he will be a Mountaineer this fall. Still do not know what the reason for the delay was, whether it was paperwork, NIL, still being recruited by other schools, or something I haven't even thought of. But the basketball team looks to be very interesting this coming season, and we still have a little bit of recruiting left to do. Also, today we got a commitment from a wide receiver. Coach Brown has said for quite some time that he wanted a receiver 6'4" or better, and he got a 6'4" receiver in Justin Robinson, a former four-star high school recruit who came to West Virginia from Georgia via Mississippi State. He has never seemed to find his footing. Hopefully, Belial Marshall will be able to fix that along with Garrett Green's help. I believe he has either 2 years to play, 1 year, or just 1 year. And it is potentially a significant upgrade, not because the quality of the wide receiver room was a problem, but that especially tall receiver was the one thing that was missing, so we now have all the pieces. The problem with all of that is this makes, I believe, 88 players who are signed or committed, and we do have the 85 scholarship limit. There's been some chatter about the possibility the limit is going to get raised, but so far it's just chatter, and if it happens, I don't expect it to happen soon enough. But some of the rule changes lately have been made very quickly once they decided to make them, so we'll see about that. Otherwise, we need to either have players retire or commitments who have changed their mind, who aren't academically eligible after all, or the possibility that the school coach does decide just to withdraw the offer. Now, that is a problematic approach unless there is a reason other than the scholarship limit. I mean, if a player has some issue or did not meet some expectation that was clearly laid out, okay. But if you pull scholarships just to get down to the limit at this point, this late, that would cause trouble with future recruiting. And it's just not Coach Brown's style. So I don't think scholarships are going to get pulled just for that reason. Of course, if they do get pulled, we usually never know the actual reason. We just have some guesses. So it's going to be interesting how they get down to that limit or match whatever limit there is. But we got the players. We'll see how that goes. Now, on the upside, recruiting, signing-wise, for 2025, Gavin Crawford out of Good Counsel has committed to West Virginia. Or, excuse me, scratch that. He has announced that he will be making an announcement on Wednesday. He's expected to pick West Virginia. He'd be rejoining Kyle Altuner or joining, Altuner's not here yet either, but that he will be in about a month or less. And we could end up here in a year or two with half of the offensive line being from the Good Counsel School. And of course, what matters is how good they are, not so much where they went to high school. Anyway, been talking about why the team will be better in 2024 than they were in 2023, or better than they have been in a very, very long time. I talked about how the players are going to affect that. Today, talking about how the coaches are going to affect that, because coaches learn, coaches change, coaches come and go, lots of factors. Now, in this case, not a lot of coaches left for other jobs. Lost Dante Wright and Sean Reagan, both good coaches. I think we're better with the replacements for some specific fits and attributes. Nothing against the guys who left. Wish them well, and they were very good. Now, particularly on the defensive side, we've got Andrew Jackson as the defensive line coach. He's been here now for several years. Time to find his footing. Time to really grow into being a Power 4 defensive line coach. It's not that I think we will see a massive increase in the benefits, but I do think the line will continue to grow. And they're working from a good starting point. I really like the move. I covered this in another video a month or so ago. I like moving Shadon Brown to being over all the defensive back coaches because they are doing so much cross-training. If you have guys training to be corner, safety, and spear, even if the coaches are in general agreement, as you go from one room to another, you're going to get these maybe minor variations, but even a minor variation in how something is done or said can make a big difference. And this way, we get consistency with cross-training. And again, I don't think anything was necessarily being done wrong. It's just that if you are going to cross-train this much, having one guy oversee it should help. And now we have Jordan Leslie overseeing the entire defense, working just wherever he's needed, and focusing on the big picture in addition to the details. And that can help. You have to be able to see both. And I think that's going to come together this way. Now, Jeff Koons is probably the most controversial coach on the defense because there have been some problems with linebackers and special teams. But We've had personnel problems with linebacker and special teams. So is it Coons? Is it personnel? I think it's been corrected in terms of personnel. So this year we find out how good Coons is. I got to think he's good simply because Coach Brown tends to make good choices, even if some people don't agree with his choices. In terms of the special teams, we have also hired a special teams consultant. We haven't heard a lot about anything he's doing, but I think that's mostly because we didn't do a lot of work with special teams in spring ball. That will come more in fall, and I hope we will be hearing more about it. And that alarm you hear is to remind me to take some meds, and I had the forethought to take them before coming up to work on the videos, but not the memory to turn off the alarm. All right. There was our moment of excitement. Yeah. Special effects, perhaps? I don't know. Anyway, I think the special teams consultant will make a big difference along with the improved personnel. And we actually were mostly good on special teams. So if we can clear up where there were a couple of issues, upgrade the rest, we become very good in a hurry. So I'm looking for that. And I think we'll have to ask more about the special teams consultant this fall before the season starts, see where things stand there. Also, okay, we lost Dante Wright and hired Victor Cabral. I think he's listed as outside linebacker coach. We don't have outside linebackers, really. We have the Spur, which used to be Spur, which used to be Bandit, and we have the Spear. And Spear is, a combination of linebacker, cornerback, and safety, and I'm not sure how the coaches work all of that out, since the person playing there could be from one of 3 or 4 rooms. But Cabral, he's essentially an edge rusher specialist. It's not because it's all he does, but it is something he has a history of doing especially well. And we've had problems there, which I think have largely been personnel problems, but upgrading coaching doesn't hurt, especially when we've also upgraded the personnel. We've got Bradley, we've got French, we've got Onwuka, and hopefully we've got Fisher, depending on his injury and his weight and some things like that. We actually, compared to the rest of the conference, did fairly well with sacks and pressures last year, but not nearly as well as we should have done. And if we upgrade so that we meet the potential, it's going to be awesome. Going to be awesome. And I want to see it. If I could time travel, would I use up my chances just to go see it? Maybe not. I guess I'll take the long way around, but I want to see it. Now on the offensive side of things, and again, we've got returning production among the coaches. Coach Moore is really sort of the stable point on offense. Coach Brown, obviously, the stable point overall. But Coach Moore is, he's been there a long time. He's the consistent part. Marshall and Stewart are in their second year. Now, Marshall had, experience elsewhere, but this is his and I mean, he had been at West Virginia, but this is his second year as the wide receivers coach. He has his systems more in place, can plan ahead, think ahead. He's worked with most of these guys now for 2 years. I think that will make a difference. Blaine Stewart, it's his second year as college coach, as tight ends coach. I said in an interview, he's more confident, has a better sense of what he's doing, and I think that will make a difference. Tyler Allen lost Blaine Stewart, Sean Reagan, and Tyler Allen was already there, already working with the quarterbacks. So it's not a major personnel change. Personality, maybe. I like Sean Reagan. The more specific he was in his press conferences, the better I liked him. But I think Tyler Allen may be even more detail oriented. He has a definite focus and energy. He's young. And he's wanted to be a coach almost since he started playing. And you don't find that very often. And that psychology, I think, is going to make him very, very good. Right now, he's unusually experienced for his age, but he is still young. He's not going to be at his best. I think we're going to have to work to hold on to him because I think his ceiling is very high. I think he's well positioned to work, especially with Green and Marchiol, move them up that level they need. And that would make the offense unbelievable. If offense and defense and special teams are as good as I think they can be, it's going to be a pretty amazing season. And that brings me to Chad Scott. I saved Chad Scott for last, and I did it intentionally because Chad Scott is always a factor. And this is his second year as offensive coordinator. He's had time to think, to learn, to prepare. I don't think we're going to see a wildly different offense, but I think we're going to see the offense not just pick up from where it left off, but with several new wrinkles, with some more opportunities due to improved personnel and experience. Now, I expect Coach Brown to continue calling the plays. He may let Scott do that some, I don't know. But I think Chad Scott did design a lot of the plays, or a lot of the variants, or both, and he's had a year to tinker with that. And play design seems to be one of many things that Coach Scott does exceptionally well. So, a year of experience as offensive coordinator and designing plays and working with the whole offense, I see tremendous growth potential for 2024. Now, I'm going to stick with saying 9 wins is the floor, 10 wins likely. I'm not going to start preaching about a perfect season. It's just not likely. Do I think they could do it? Yeah, I think they could. But a perfect season depends on a lot of things going your way every week. You get a week where things just don't fit, where all of the quirks, the ball bounces against you every time. Some weeks are just crap for one reason or another. And you kind of have to figure that's going to happen once or twice along the way. Might not. Or they play hard and the other team plays a little harder. Personnel-wise, we can beat anybody on our schedule. But getting the breaks and having the mental edge week in and week out, that's tough. But we'll see. I think they'll make the conference championship. I think they'll win the conference championship. But I am not at any point going to go through the schedule week by week and say they're going to win this one, they're going to lose that one. No, I think overall 9-10 wins, and a couple of things go wrong somewhere. I'm not even going to guess which games go wrong. All righty. I might or might not be back when Crawford makes his announcement. I will keep thinking about other things to do videos about. And I got to figure out how to play around with the, special effects and on-screen data so that you can see it well with this new arrangement. Thanks for dropping in, guys. I'll talk to you later.